respected people, welcome back for another video. Now that James Gunn has went ahead and announced a plethora of characters for Superman Legacy, a lot of people are starting to be concerned if this is going to be a convoluted movie with too many people in it and just trying to set up the future rather than really focusing on Superman. Even though James Gunn has repeatedly said, no, this is going to be a Superman movie first. And I agree with that. And a lot of people are overlooking a few things in terms of, how storytelling can really work, how it really doesn't need to revolve around just one person. Although the one person can be the main focus, you don't need it to revolve around just that one person. I mean, think of Captain America Civil War, right? It was still a Captain America movie, and it revolved around Captain America, but it was a movie that introduced Black Panther and everything that led into it. Although, Black Panther didn't necessarily steal the movie, right? He was only in there for a limited amount of time. Now, whether or not he stole the movie as a character that everyone liked is different. However, to introduce him as the character, it didn't overtake, it didn't hijack from Captain America itself. So I am going to go ahead and put my theory out there. This may be 100% true, this may be 10% true, or 0% true. I have no idea. But I'm going to go ahead and use my own thinking along with how James Gunn likes to play his movies, along with how superhero movies can work if they just follow the comic book formula, which James Gunn seems to be a big fan of, knowing that he's a big comic book nerd, just the same way Kevin Feige is. You can start to make some assumptions, but before I get started on this, I just wanted to remind you guys that the world is full of a lot of negativity. I hope you're doing your part in spreading the positivity, stop the hate, spread the love, and now back to the topic. So Superman Legacy is going to revolve around Superman and Lois. Those are not my words, those are James Gunn's words to all of the concerned people that are going at him in Twitter or Instagram threads, assuring everyone that Lois Lane and Clark Kent, aka Superman, are still going to be the forces behind the movie. So, what do I think the movie is really going to be like? Let's go ahead and start with the theory, right? So we know that other heroes exist in this universe. James Gunn has said that, and with the casting, you already know who's casted for all the roles for the movie. We know it's going to have a plethora of characters. So we know and we can safely assume that superheroes in this movie have already been existing, in this universe have already been existing. Superman is just going to be the newest face to join them. If you look at the original synopsis that James Gunn really had, and I'm looking back and forth at my notes because I'm ready to get started on this with you guys. James Gunn has stated in the past that, this movie is going to really focus on something a lot of Superman movies have not focused on since the 80s with Christopher Reeve's Superman. And that is that Superman is a kind, gentle person. Much like in today's world, we find kind and gentle to be very boring. So people are going to be looking up at other people to be the more, genuine or the more enthusiastic heroes, such as the Authority, right? We already know that the Authority is going to be part of this movie in one way or another with their own movie coming out later down the road. I really think he's taking some of the pages out of, I don't know if you guys have seen Superman versus the Elite, but it really sounds like that, right? Where Superman has been serving the public, although that was much later Superman, and the public is just now starting to get bored of him. Then comes the Elite, this new group of young superheroes, that basically don't play by the rules per se. And you have the public and all the young generations are like, man, Superman is boring. We don't need him. We like the Elite. And I think that's the direction he's going with the Authority. Although the Authority are their own problem in the comic books, and they're going to be presented as a problem, I think, introduced as a problem in this movie in Superman Legacy. The very first thing is that I think other heroes are working. They're already established. And, let's say they're fighting some generic villain that we're going to go ahead and see. I think you're going to see Guy Gardner. I think you're going to see Hawk Girl. All these people try to stop this villain. and then they're unable to really do much, and then comes in the authority, with their no rules type of attitude, and they beat this villain, and that generally wins the public over. And Superman, seeing that this is the direction everyone's going, he's not sure if he really can be out there just yet. He's been Superman for a while, but he's not part of Justice League or anything like that. But I don't think he has really met with Green Lantern or those guys yet. I think he's been operating undercover, and this you can take out of the DCAU movies where Batman and Green Lantern, they've only heard of this superhero in Metropolis, but they've never met him. I think it's going to be a similar vibe to that. However, during this fight, you're going to see that superheroes don't really know how to work with each other yet because there's no Justice League. So everyone is just kind of showing up, trying to take down whatever or whomever this bad guy is going to be. And again, I don't think it's going to be some big villain. I think it's just going to be someone that everyone's trying to take down. And they get outshunned by the authority, and Superman is just holding back. Seeing what's going on, how people are perceiving the authority, he's seeing the tension, and you're going to see some of, Green Lantern and these people that don't agree with the way the authority are going. And then Superman basically, he's not established himself as the hero Superman that we've come to love down the road, but he's aware of how society works. He's made some saves here and there. He's been only in Superman for a couple of years, so the public isn't fully aware of who this guy truly is. And so, how can we go ahead and reach the end point to where Superman and the authority can go ahead and kind of meet up? I think that's where Metamorpho comes in. Now, in my opinion, I think Metamorpho is going to be the main villain of this movie. You're going to have Metamorpho basically go ahead and start, he's going through his changes, and he doesn't like himself, it's everything from the comics. And so he's just mad at the world, and I believe that the authority will show up first, and they will go ahead and kind of start picking a fight with Metamorpho. And eventually Metamorpho, I think, is going to go ahead and get the upper hand. The authority are going to in some way feel insulted, and then that's where the big blue Superman comes into action. And I think although there will be a big battle between Metamorpho and Superman along with Green Lantern and those guys, because even in the animations, right, in the original Justice League show, you've had Metamorpho really take on like the Trinity and then more, right? So he is definitely going to be fighting against Superman and all these people, and this is where they're going to go ahead and get introduced to Superman, really see how Superman's actions truly are, because even though it's going to be a big battle, I don't think the ending is going to be simply, all right, let's just kill Metamorpho or anything like that. I think it's going to be a little bit more symbolic towards who Superman's true character is, because James Gunn has put that out there front forth, that he wants to show the kind side of Superman, something that's been missing from a lot of the previous versions, most recently Henry Cavill's, although it was starting to go that way, but that was very much missing from all the Snyder movies. And I think at the very end, Superman isn't necessarily going to kill Metamorpho. I think he's just going to go ahead and in some way with his kindness kind of convince Metamorpho that it's okay to be different, because he's different just like Metamorpho from the world, right? Superman is an alien, and he's just trying to learn to live with a society of humans. And I think Metamorpho will go ahead and kind of, go off of that. And I think that's going to do multiple things. That decision right there, if that's a decision they're going to make, makes Metamorpho now more kind-hearted, just like in the comic books, right? He becomes basically DC's version of Fantastic Four with Mr. Terrific, who is also in this movie. So I think all those people are going to meet Metamorpho. Metamorpho is going to have this, initial reaction where everyone's like, damn, this guy is strong. Metamorpho is going to realize that he's just misled to hurting the public. And he eventually will go ahead and go under, I don't know, maybe under Mr. Terrific's guidance or something, to where they're going to go ahead and work together in the future movies, right? So that sets that up. Superman, his kind-heartedness shows right there. It shows the public that, hey, the kind way is still the best way. and that's going to go ahead and basically end the movie. But what I mean by that is they're going to go ahead and that introduces Superman to the Justice League. Lets Justice League know, all right, the Big Blue is different. He's just a different dude. And also that sets up the Authority, who are probably now insulted and pissed that they couldn't beat this guy and the Big Blue stole their show, right? So now the Authority have every reason to be the anti-heroes they are. Or they could become full-on villains in future movies, which I don't doubt will happen at some point. It's just going to. But yeah, that's just how I think it's going to go down. Do you guys have any theories of your own? Do you think there's a better way that they're going to go ahead and incorporate this? Do you think my theory was pretty decent? Because, if they're going with the route that I just mentioned, then that keeps all these signings, all these actors that they've announced to play these characters for Superman Legacy, it keeps their roles to a very minimum, while keeping Superman at the forefront of the movie. Now, I may just have had a stupid theory, I don't know. But whatever your thoughts are, leave it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that post notification bell. Until next time, I hope you guys have a great one.